Welcome back. Another the Down and Back here for another week. A lot of stuff to pack into the show here this week. First off, great guest coming up here shortly. You may have heard about it, may have not heard about it. Level Up Cornhole. Ed Howlett from Level Up Cornhole will be joining me to talk Level Up Cornhole and what it all entails, how you can find it on Facebook, and all of that fun stuff. So that will be coming up a bit later. First off, got some news, a lot of news coming out here, or a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's go right into it. ACL, Canadian Open, April 29th, 30th, May 1st, Niagara Falls Convention Center, Niagara Falls, Ontario. Check it out. I know there's been some stuff kind of posted. I know if you go to the Canadian Cornhole Players Facebook group, there is a hotel that is being used. It's right across the street, I believe. Well, like if it's anything, it's like a 5-minute walk to the venue. Days in, use code ACL Canada, I believe. More will be coming up. Check out like I said, the Canadian Cornhole Players Facebook group. Matt Plyle posted something in there about that. So there's that. And then last week I talked about how there wasn't a women's division. Actually, there is a women's division. They added in. They were trying to find some time to put it in. Looks like it will be on the Saturday. Scheduled to start at the same time as the swap, the ACL swap, but looks like they might be starting it earlier, which is fine because you'll be able to see everything on the live streams on right here on the Down and Back Facebook page or the Octane Cornhole Facebook page, or I'm hearing ACLDN, possibly. We'll see. Yeah, so that's coming up. Pumped about that. I know some stuff is going on. So today is March the 11th. So that means that open to everyone now. Everyone can now apply for it. You don't need to have a platinum membership or whatever. You can be platinum, gold, bronze, free. You can be a free account and sign up now. So that is Niagara Falls Convention Center, Niagara Falls, Ontario, April 29th, 30th, and May 1st. ACL. You don't want to miss that event coming up. Other tournaments that are coming up. Been contacted. Some people are contacting me saying, "Hey, can you mention my tournament?" And a couple of great people reached out to me like that. Corey Ewart in St. Thomas. Corey, possibly coming on the show. I'm looking at you. To come on here because I know he fantastic player. You know, he won one of the divisions at the Central Conference tournament back in December in St. Catharines. He's from St. Thomas. It was in St. Catharines. He won. That's all you need to know. So if you go and check out his Facebook group, For a Joke Cornhole, FOUR a joke cornhole. They got a tournament coming up in St. Thomas, April 2nd. Check out, they've got all their stuff posted, what's going on for that there. Go and check them out. They're not affiliated with any league yet. We'll see. Yeah, so there's them. And then also another great person, Mr. Travis Myers out of Wallaceburg, Ontario, Wallaceburg Cornhole. He'll be having a tournament April 16th. So for that, anyone in that area, and you're coming to the ACL Canadian Open here almost a week ahead, you can go and check that out and get a little warm-up tournament for that there. So check out the Wallaceburg Cornhole Facebook page for all the info on that there. Now he's going to be having singles, doubles, not sure if a blind draw as well. So check out all the great stuff that Travis has doing over in Wallaceburg. Another thing, and I kind of mentioned this here to someone on the in the Addicted to Cornhole Facebook group because they were asking about cornhole records. And I was like, there was something, and it was already planned to be talked about on the show today because I've been holding it in for a long while, since May 9th, 2020 to be exact. More on that in a second. So yeah, so talking about cornhole records, and the ACL really doesn't have records per se out or whatever. I don't think really any of the leagues do. But anyway, one place that you can find records on stuff like that is, I know if you're old like me, you went to the school library and you always checked out the Guinness Book of World Records, and they have some cornhole records in there. Who knew? And I know some people are saying, "Oh, it'll be easy," but records are made to be broken. Sometimes they're not as easy as you think to break them. Anyway, so I picked out I got 4 listed here. I think there's about like 8 or 9, maybe 10 records on there that are cornhole related that you can check out. So what you have to do is you have to go and apply to the Guinness Book of World Records first. You can't just do it and say, "Hey, look, I did this." You've got to apply. Then they will come back to you, and there'll be someone. Most of the stuff is on video now. You can do it on video, and they'll have someone watching to kind of keep an eye on what's actually going on. So go to the Guinness Book of World Records website, apply. They'll reach back to you and say, "Yeah, that's something we're interested in," or "No, that's not what we're interested in." Anyway, so I've got 4. Most bags in the hole in 1 minute by 2 people. A couple of Americans hold that. They did it as a team. Joey LaRose, Joe McLemore got 14 bags in the hole in a minute. I know, I think that could probably be more, but you have to kind of see just what was it. Were they both throwing opposite ways at the same time? Did they have to throw 4? The next guy throw 4, then 4. We'll see. But whatever, you have to go and check those, see just what the specifications for that record was. So we got those, Joey and Joe, 14 bags in a minute in the hole. Then we have a longest shot by Matthew Greer out of, again, the U.S., 62 feet 6 inches. That's almost from the pitcher's mound. Who knew? So 62 feet 6 inches getting the bag in the hole. I don't know if it was airmail or if it was a slide shot. Again, you have to talk to the Guinness Book of World Records to find out just what specifications were for that there. Next one. Longest shot blindfolded. So that one there was done by Wyatt Gleason out of Australia. Our friends down under got the blindfold thing going. That was 39 feet 3 inches. And if you're in Australia, that was 12 meters. There you go. Or Canada. Anywhere that has the metric system, 12 meters or 39 feet 3 inches for a longest shot blindfolded. Getting in the hole. Then comes to the one that made me want to talk about this to begin with, and I seen that post. Dino, if you're watching. Most bags in the hole in 1 hour. And like I said, been holding this in since May 9th, 2020. 412 bags in the hole in 1 hour. That was done by Canadians holding that record. And I get to see it. The beautiful plaque up on the wall, hanging on the wall at the Octane Garage, because none other than Mr. Matt Plyle, Mr. Octane himself, the boss man, as I sometimes call him, Matt Plyle, 412 bags in the hole in 1 hour. And I know that was just throwing bag after bag, because I talked to him about it, because I knew it's been almost 2 years now. May will be coming up 2 years. So what I know what that is, he had a bunch of sets. He was just throwing. He was having 4 bags in his hand that he was throwing. I think it was like there was a team at work here, because there was people that were taking the bags from the board, bringing it back to him, and I think he had like 3 sets kind of on the go. So that was that. So 412 bags in an hour in the hole. Matt Plyle, Mr. Octane himself, with that Guinness Book of World Record. And if you're looking at all the write up they did for it, if you ask him, he didn't do it. They did it for him. Yeah. So, but he has always wanted to do a Guinness Book of World Records, and he has one. He has the plaque. He's done it all. So that's that. And if you want to be like him, head to octanecornhole.com. Discount code CornDoug gets you 10% off of any of the bags you want. I know the other day I started throwing the energy bags again because I kind of like them now. They're a fuller bag. The C word, carpet material. And yeah, so check out them. Check out, there's those. You can get the cotton candy ignition bags, new. Or St. Patrick's Day bags, limited to 50 sets. There's I think there's Turbos and Apex, I believe. One looks like a beer. One's got like that skull kind of St. Patty's Day theme. Check it out. OctaneCornhole.com. Get yourself a set of bags. You will not be disappointed in that. Then you're going to need a board to throw it on. jccornhole.com. Talk to Jamie. He should give you a discount. He's been nice to me lately. So, yeah. jccornhole.com. Tell him I sent you, and you can get yourself some great boards. He's been just pumping out boards like crazy. I know if you are going to be in Atlantic City coming up in a couple weeks, we'll talk about that next week. But if you're going to be there in Atlantic City, Jamie will be there. Say hi to Jamie. jccornhole.com. Then you're going to need something to listen to while you're throwing those 412 bags in the hole in an hour. MyEarFun.com. Get yourself a good, perfect set of Bluetooth earbuds or even waterproof Bluetooth speaker. Yes, that there. All at MyEarFun.com, and discount code CornDoug gets you 20% off at MyEarFun.com. Then maybe you don't want octane bags. That's cool. You don't want octane bags? That's cool. You know what? That's fine. Because you can now, and I've seen there's a new brand. There's a new brand at Canadian. Cornhole Supplies Canada. I think they have a new brand. Something maybe out of the Georgia area. Check it out. csccornhole.com. Right there. There's right there. If you're watching a video, you're right. It's going right across there. And the other one that's right there, look, I'll put my hand the right way, SierraHome.com. Check out Darren on Facebook or on his website. He's doing some great stuff. Sierra Property Inspections out of Edmonton, Alberta, Sherwood Park to be exact. And I know Edmonton Cornhole League, I've been watching you on Instagram. Check Darren out. Same as Cold-Blooded Cornhole. Hey, got that right this time. Got it right this time. Yeah, check out Darren in the Alberta area. I know we got something in the works to come out, so if you in that area need your home inspected, Darren does great. I've been seeing some of his stuff on social media. He's been doing a lot of great stuff, a lot of great reviews. Check him out. And I think that's been enough talking for me. I think it's time for you to get to listen to and find out more about a Level Up Cornhole. Here's Mr. Ed Howlett. As promised, we are here with Mr. Ed Howlett, better known as Mr. Level Up Cornhole. Ed, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Doug. How you doing?
Not too bad. You're, I think in Canada here, the Level Up has kind of really just kind of blown up in the last couple of weeks. Mike Nesrela kind of made a post about it in our Canadian Cornhole players, and all of a sudden, everyone from Canada now wants to try Level Up. So, to rewind that a bit, how did you? How did the idea of Level Up come about?
Actually, it started when the pandemic hit. So I was in my backyard, April of 2020. And I had one bag that I was using. I'm sorry, one board that I was using. And it was, in my mind, it was silly to just throw 4 bags when there's 2 sides and I had plenty of bags to throw. So I started throwing 8 bags, and, you know, I was just becoming familiar with the ghost concept at the time. A couple of people asked me, you know, do you want to go live and play online ghost? And I didn't even know how to do it. So I started playing. I'm going back and forth with the 8 bags, and I just took the Ghost 7 and made it Ghost 14. Ghost 6 and made it Ghost 12 with the 8 bags. And I'm playing, and I'm like, I kind of like this. This is fun. And I kept doing it, and I had a couple of beers, and I'm enjoying myself by myself like everybody else was back then. So I called up my son, who's a really, really good player, and I said, hey, look, I'm playing with 8 bags. I'm liking it. I think other people might like it. What do you think? And his name's Brian, and Brian said to me, Dad, cornhole's played with 4 bags. I don't think anybody's going to like this. I don't know if it's a good idea. I said, gee, Brian, thanks for the advice. You know, I appreciate it. I hung up, and I was like, you know, I don't think he's right on this one. So I was sitting on my back deck, and I just typed something out. And what you see as the original description of Level Up is what I put up there. It was, I don't know, April 3rd or 4th of 2020. And I threw it out, not having any idea where it would go. And I just went back and started playing. And I think a day or 2 later, a couple of friends of mine said, hey, this is a pretty good idea. And I'll never forget the first time that I actually got a notification. And I looked, and I was like, wow, somebody's actually playing this. I was like, wow, this is awesome. So, and then it just, I mean, like anything in these groups work, somebody told somebody. I don't advertise. I don't do any of that stuff. It's all word of mouth, and it's all spread by, you know, people just playing. And yeah, so far it's worked out pretty good. There's over 3,000 members in this thing right now. And
yeah, I was going to say, I have to say I'm just a casual member, just a watching guy, because, well, everyone who's watched the show or listened to the show knows just how bad I am at playing. But like I did kind of tell you off air, I got to try it I did it for the first time kind of officially last night as we're recording this here earlier, but level 13 kicked my butt, but level 10 I was able to beat that one 21-1. And I'm not going to say it, but level 10 made me feel good because I was almost like Ghost 10 that I kind of beat. So I was like, hey, I beat a level 10, even though I throw like crap most of the time. But hey, it was a higher number, and I was happy.
No, it's good. See, I think that the greatest value to it isn't necessarily where you are on I call it the board, but it's a great practice routine. So if you're by yourself, throw 8 bags. I mean, instead of 4 bags and going back and forth, throw 8 bags. You junk up the board a little more. You get a little more creative with some shots. And yeah, it's all offensive, but still you can learn some shots by doing it. And a lot of guys have told me that it's really helped their game. And if you look, you know, towards the top of the group on the board, there's a few ACL pros up there that I've been watching for a while. You know, Tony Smith was the first one to crack the level 20 barrier. And now I think there's 7 or 8. And there's a couple of Canadians that have done it at level 20. So, and they're spreading the word. I know, you know, those guys are doing well.
Well, exactly, yeah. Especially well, I guess we're almost in the same situation as you are with the snow, as you're in the Northeast. But you know, and now we're starting to come out of. We've just kind of opened up all of our stuff, so I've actually seen people playing it at league nights as well too, just as a warm up for them if they get there early enough to get a free board themselves.
You know, that when I hear that, Doug, that's you know, the work that I put into it. That's what makes it worthwhile for me. I don't make a dime off of this. You know, if you look, I try to keep the group clean. You know, if people go in there and they try to sell their wares, I just delete it. You know, we're not the home for that. There's other places to do that. You know, I've seen some, you know, people talking about they've got some tournament coming up. Honestly, Level Up isn't the place for that, because it gums everything up. The only thing that you'll see on there are games that people have played live, and every so often I'll post the board and I'll update it, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty clean. I want to keep it that way.
Well, exactly, and as you said, there's the Canadians on there, but I've also seen Daniel Turner and a couple of guys from Australia on there as well too, and because we've had a couple of guys, Alex and Daniel Irvine on the show there the other week, yep. And they're just gung ho for anything cornhole.
They've done it. They've made the board. So we've got 4 countries. Obviously the U.S., you guys, Australia, and I got somebody in the U.K. too. He's done it. So, as the word gets out, more people are playing. It was really designed though for the pandemic. When COVID was around, everybody was isolating. I just threw it out there for people to get out and somehow keep their edge, because as you will soon find out, you can practice with Level Up and think you're doing well, but as soon as you go live, it changes everything. You can ask any of the guys that have played it at all. Once you go live, it's like you're playing in a real game. The shot making, it really replicates playing in a big game. And I've heard that a lot. Listen, it's the same for me. I'm only at level 17. I've practiced it, and even I get a little, shoot, I don't really want to go live because it puts a lot of pressure on you.
Oh, and I know that. Just I can talk here on the show. I can look in that camera. I can talk. You put a bag in my hand, throw it on the board. I'm lucky to get like a 29 deck around. It's just it's that thing of someone watching you throw, and people knowing that you're throwing like an idiot. You can't even hit the board, and you got that going in your head, and then you're just done.
It's a very mental game. It's interesting. I'm a golfer. I grew up playing golf. I caddied when I was a kid, and there's a lot of strategy in golf. And you would think they're completely different games. I mean, there's the cornhole and golf. There's nothing similar about them, but it's all in your head. If you can clear your head, clear your mind, and just keep the repetition with your throwing style, you'll do good at this game. The great players are the ones that have a strong mentally. You have to be strong mentally to succeed at the highest level, and you have to be strong mentally to get way up on the board at Level Up. There's still 2 levels that nobody's achieved yet. Very, very difficult. Level 22 and level 23. They've been attempted, but they have not been conquered yet. And there's been some discussion in the group about, is anybody going to, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think level 23 can be beat, because in order to score, you have to put 8 bags in the hole, and that's the only way to score 1 point. So if you do beat it, it'll be a marathon game. Level 22 is difficult too. Again, the only way you can score is to put 8 bags in the hole. So a few people are at 21. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 people are at level 21, and then there's a bunch at level 20. But actually, first started it. I don't want to focus on the top players, because this is also for the beginners, and that's what I really named it. Level Up Cornhole for beginners to Hall of Famers, and that's what, I'm scrolling through here, getting some other stuff. So for beginners to Hall of Famers, and I really wanted to focus on, the people that are just starting out. Give them something to shoot for, because it's all about getting to the next level in this group. Improve your game, get to the next level. Anybody can do it. Obviously some of the best players in the world are 12 and younger. And I'm in my 60s, and I can compete with anybody for the most part. So it's a great game for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, and in this group, it doesn't matter how good you are. Just jump in front of that camera and go for it.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And you talk about the people that are up near the top. I was talking with, I talk with a mutual friend, John Clark, all the time, and he tells me about how high he is and how he, like he said, he's tried Ghost 20, oh, not Ghost 22, but level 22 a couple times, and he said he can only manage to get like 14 points
Yep.
against it, but it's,
Yep.
you know, and
Listen, if you get 14 points against Ghost 20, well, Ghost 22, you have to beat Ghost 22 to achieve level 22. So
okay.
they're pretty much interchangeable.
Yeah.
But yeah, to score 14 points against Ghost 22 is an amazing accomplishment. Unfortunately, it doesn't get you on the board, at least to that level. Yeah, John's tried it. John, he really, really liked it. You know, he's used it a lot to improve his game, but you know, you can say that about a lot of people. You know, when you're by yourself, I just look at it this way: especially during the pandemic, when you're by yourself and you want to practice, it's a great way to do it. Throw 8 bags. I mean, I keep seeing guys, you know, sometimes they'll go live and they'll be practicing. Some pros, you know, some guys will just go up and they'll start throwing. This is a practice, and they'll only throw 4 bags. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why throw 4 bags when you have 2 sides of the board? They're right there. Everybody has 8 bags. Just throw 8 bags.
Well, yeah, and it's like it's almost like I haven't done a video on this yet, but one of my practice routines was we kind of got with Matt from Octane. We were talking about how with Steve Nash, the basketball player, would go and he would when he was practicing, he wouldn't leave the court until he sunk 20, I think it was 200 baskets. So we kind of took it into ourselves using both sides of the board, almost like Level Up, where we'd throw 100 bags and just see where we're at after those 100 bags. If we put how many we'll put on the board or how many we'll put in, and I'm thinking like Level Up is almost exactly the same, except there's that little more. I don't want to say a little more of a challenge, but you've got to be scoring those points are actually meaning more than just putting it on the board.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks. It really isn't. And what's interesting for me is that, you know, when I first started this, I was like, oh my God, if this thing takes off, I'm going to get overwhelmed trying to keep up with everybody. But everybody hits their ceiling. You know, even the great players have a ceiling. And you know, whatever level that may be, it could be level 21, it could be level 10, but every player has that ceiling, and it takes some work, takes some dedication, takes some practice to bust through it. And you know, for some people, it works really well for them.
I've seen, like, I've heard nothing but good things about it. So like I said, I did try it. Go the level 13 kicked my butt. I was able to reach level 10. I didn't put it on video yet, so I'm thinking for me on video, I may hit a level 6. But we'll see how that can
you'll do better than that. And listen, and the beauty of Level Up, or one of the beauties of it, is that this is all about success. So if you go live and you lose, delete the video. Just nobody, you know, just get rid of it. You know, you only have to keep it if you win. Because it proves that you beat whatever ghost you had to get to a certain level. But yeah, this is all about good, all about success. So, you know, yes, going live is still pressure, but you don't have to worry about it. You can just delete it. Some people like to keep it so that they can go back and review it, and that's all good. I mean, I don't delete the losses, but you know, you don't have to keep it there.
Oh yeah, I know the losses all stay up in here. I've got enough of them, but that's all what's in the head. But it's,
believe me, I know.
It's still, you know, it's still the game is still just addicting and for the most part fun.
It's for the, you know, I've seen a couple of memes lately about you know, everybody's happy and all excited on their way to cornhole.
Yeah.
A lot of times, not so much on your way home.
The drive home sucks sometimes.
Yes, sometimes it does.
But so we've talked about the level up classification. So, but you as a player, you are in that place that I still have to visit, Londonderry, New Hampshire, where there's that great little bar that's right there that you get to play at a bunch of times.
I do. I'm very, very fortunate. I live in Londonderry. And Game Changers Sports Bar and Grill. It's about 10 minutes from my house. It was the first cornhole bar in the world, to my knowledge. It's a great spot. It's always packed. I was there Sunday with my good friends from CornDoug Cornhole. They run a blind draw, and there were 50, 60 folks playing. And they also run a social division. So there were kids that were playing, just starting out. And you get to a certain, and they call it the social division. You get to a certain point there, and then you move on up to the competitive group. And listen, you can go there anytime and find great players. And what's interesting is not every great player is an ACL pro. You probably know this, Doug.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an ACL pro to be a great player. I mean, to be an ACL pro is a huge commitment. ACO pro, ACL pro, wherever. There's some great players in New England. It's exploded over the last 3 or 4 years. I started about 5 or 6 years ago. A buddy of mine got entered into a tournament. Didn't even know what it was. Everybody laughed at the name cornhole. And I went and I watched I watched these guys play, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then he got a set of cheapo boards from his wife. We started playing, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah. You think it's just that easy game with these people just throwing bags. Oh, it's gonna be no problem. Then you try and play it, and you then get addicted trying to get better, and it just doesn't stop.
That hook gets set, and it gets set hard.
Yeah, and like you said, there's so many. Your area, I think, was the perfect place to start for the level up, because, like you said, there is so many corn stars. You got 603, Ipswich Bay is all right there, and it's just, you guys are just everywhere every night.
The Doghouse guys, I'm sure you know them well. Yeah. They're not far from me. God, I'll probably forget. I mean, and all of a sudden, all of these new groups are springing up.
Yeah.
I see guys with, different shirts all the time. I'm like, what's that one? Oh, we just started this group. I'm like, great. Yeah. It's really exploding in this area. It's pretty cool. And listen, you guys are just a little bit north of me. It's getting big in Canada too. And I know, Brandon Brown, Justin Clark, Tracy DeCoste, they're huge proponents of the game. And they're great ambassadors for the game. And obviously you do a great job with this podcast. So expand it, it's a great game.
No, exactly. And I want to thank you for coming on, talking Level Up. I will try and get above 10 here in the news first year. And I'll put a link to the Facebook group down below in the description. If
please do. That'd be great.
If anyone's living under a rock and hasn't learned about it yet, they can hit the link down below, and they can go on it and check it out and have some fun and having fun getting better at cornhole. There's nothing better.
Awesome, Doug. Sounds great.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. Take care.
And again, I want to thank Ed for coming on. If you're watching us here live on Friday the 11th, well, not really. I'm on recording. It's first out. Whatever. Still haven't done an actual for sure level up yet. I beat 10. That's what I'm going to go with for right now. Could have beat maybe 11. Probably. 12. It's a stretch. We'll see. Maybe. Well, I gotta find some time and an open lane up at Octane, and I can maybe do a level up, get involved in it. I've been watching for quite a while now, but for sure, go and check out Level Up Cornhole on Facebook. Post your videos on there, and get in with the chat. It's a lot of it looks like a lot of fun. I've seen a lot of people going on there, and just you want help with your game. Go on there. People will critique your throwing styles. Probably pretty good there. Yep. Yeah. So other than that, there, check out our friends at like as I said off the top, For Joe Cornhole, April 2nd in St. Thomas. I want to say Back Alley Bar and Grill. But check them out on Facebook. All their details are there. Wallsburg Cornhole on August the 16th. And if you're local here, for me, KW area, we're going to be making up for the regionals that we've missed, because we've missed a lot of regionals. So we're going to be doing weekly regionals, doubles and singles, and we'll talk about it again next week. I didn't mention off the top. We'll talk next week, but for those of you coming to Niagara Falls, we're going to do little Canadian Open stuff, ACL Canadian Open. Mask mandate done March 21st. So that'll be that. I believe you still have to be vaccinated coming into the country. Check with that there. But mask mandates ending on March 21st, and then ending completely for everywhere, I believe, from what I've heard, April the 27th. So just in time for the ACL Canadian Open. So that's it. That's it for the show this week. Next week, we've got some big news coming up. If you live in New York, you're going to want to be watching the show. I'm watching the show next week if you live in New York. Going to have some big news. I heard about it earlier this week. Talked to someone. They want to come on the show, talk about something. So we're going to do it. So New York, if you're in the New York area, you want to be watching next week. You want to subscribe to the show. Like, share, and subscribe. There's a thumb about here, somewhere around here. Where it's subscribed, it's over here, I believe, in red. They even got a little bell. Hit the little bell, then you'll get notified when a new video pops up. Or there's that little short that you can watch. Hey, have some fun. Check out Instagram. Starting to do a little reels on Instagram. Some fun. Check out Twitter. Check out Facebook. So just play cornhole. Have some fun. And that's it. Watch the ACL. We got an Open coming up this weekend. Watch that. And if you're in the U.S. and you have a conference tournament coming up here in March, say, I might be there. Maybe we'll talk more about that next week. But until next week, watch out, as always. Those players throwing gas, it could be me. It's going to be me this time. Because them, me, some other people just might kick your ass.